Hey, what's up? I just felt like sharing a couple verses. I've been reading through Proverbs, and there's like a lot of there's a section like it's a pretty big bulk of it where it's like a bunch of two-line type of verses. So I came across a lot of them that I like. There's a lot of wisdom in like all of them, but the ones that really stood out to me, at least for this season of life, were a couple that I have highlighted. I just figured make a quick video about it, share what they mean to me, and just hopefully, encourage somebody else out there who may be listening to this. So, the first one comes in Proverbs 10, verse 4. It says, "Idle hands make one poor, but diligent hands bring riches." You know, I mean, it kind of hits hard there because a lot of times I feel myself like, hey, I'd rather just sit in bed, watch a show or something, compared to like, working out or doing schoolwork or just anything I could be doing to help like further myself. I mean, there's just wisdom in that in and of itself, I mean, you're not gonna grow by sitting around doing nothing. Next one is still in chapter 10. It's down at verse 19. It says, "Where there are many words, sin is unavoidable, but the one who controls his lips is prudent." That kind of like means a lot too, because it's like, every time people get into like heated conversations, there's many words, and oftentimes in our words as people, like even so, like we may just make bad jokes or something like that, and then sin is unavoidable in those statements. But the one who controls his lips is prudent. So the one who thinks before he says, and they speak life and truth. Let's see. And then in chapter 11, I found this one verse, which was number 24. It says, "One person gives freely, yet gains more. Another withholds what is right, only to become poor." Kind of a cool rhyme there, easy to kind of remember. But I mean, yeah, I often find myself being the second part of that, where another withholds what is right, only to become poor. A lot of times I end up stressing about money and like I gotta save every single penny I can, and I miss out on a lot of opportunities to bless other people, and that sucks. And I mean, it's not saying right here where like, hey, if you give money, then you're gonna get tenfold back. I mean, that's not the right reason to even give in the first place, but it's a good reminder. I mean, like there are blessings that can come out of blessing others. I mean, if you've been blessed in a situation where you can freely give, it's always a good thing to give, and it's a good reminder here to myself especially, because I'm guilty of definitely not doing so. Like you may see that person on the side of the road or something, and then just keep driving by. So yeah, it's just a good reminder there. So chapter 12 had a couple of them, starting in verse 1. "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but one who hates correction is stupid." So I mean, I highlighted a couple of these for that because I think it's important, like, just to keep reminding yourself, like, discipline isn't like an attack on someone personally. Like, oftentimes I think a lot of people like take like correction from other people like as an actual attack, especially in today's day and age where everyone's just so sensitive about everything. But I mean, in reality, like discipline is love. Like, abuse is not discipline. Those are two very different things that people often get like mixed up. But like, when your parents like give you a spanking or like restrict you from something for X amount of time when you're younger, I mean, that's discipline, that's love. It creates knowledge because you learn what's good and what's not out of that. And whoever hates that is just, it's unwise. His way is right in his own eyes, but whoever listens to counsel is wise. Solomon really liked to rhyme here, but yeah, it's just people, man. When I've seen it before so many times where people just get like stuck in their own way and mindset, and they're in the middle of things, but like there's like friends and family, and this is including myself in the situation where I'm the fool, but friends, family telling like, they're giving their counsel and input, and they can see things that you can't see when you're in the midst of situations. And right here, Solomon's just saying, it's wise to listen to their counsel. I mean, you're still your own person at the end of the day. You got the free will to ignore it, and oftentimes, unfortunately, that does get ignored. But there is wisdom in listening to people and their input. And then lastly, for chapter 12, I got verse 25. Anxiety in a person's heart weighs it down, but a good word cheers it up. Anxiety is something that only comes from when you live in the future, like in your own mind. It's like, I gotta do this, I gotta worry about that, I gotta plan for this. That's where anxiety comes from. Anxiety can't really come from the past because it's in the past. It's kind of too late. But yeah, I often find myself too worrying about, like, what's to come, what's the future, what should I do? I mean, I don't know about anyone else who may be listening here, but like in my head, I have like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, like so many different paths, and it gets so overwhelming to the point where like I end up doing nothing and missing opportunities for any of the paths to begin with, and it's just not good. I'm trying to. I feel like I've gotten a little bit better about anxiety, but yeah, still taking risks and all that is just not really built into my DNA, unfortunately. And I really wish it was, but trying to get better. Number 13, verse 4, the slacker craves, yet has nothing, but the diligent is fully satisfied. Again, like a lot of these have the same kind of theme, which I highlighted, because that's just kind of like the season I'm in right now is like all these are really hitting. But the slacker craves, like, again, going back to, like, you sit in bed and you get overwhelmed with your anxiety and anxious thoughts about the future, and you crave and you crave, and you're like, oh, this path would be good. I kind of like that, yet has nothing. So, getting too overwhelmed and not doing anything, I mean, that's just worse than taking a shot anyway. And something very important is just, like, a lot of times I'm like, do I need to even say this or do this? But like again, the answer is always no until you ask. And maybe the answer is no when you ask, but at least you asked, and you don't have to sit there and left with what ifs and all that. I mean, that's something that I've struggled with, is all my what ifs in life. But at the end of the day, those are in the past, and you just gotta learn from mistakes and keep moving forward. Verse 20. The one who walks with the wise will become wise, but a companion of fools will suffer harm. Whoever you surround yourself with, like, surround yourself with good, strong, wise people, grounded in the word. Because, I mean, if you're going to be a companion of fools, they're just going to drag you down. Like, I've heard this example before, at church once. It was, someone stood up on a chair, someone stood next to the chair, and they were like, okay, is it easier for me to pull this person up on the chair with me, or for them to pull me down to the floor with them? So, I mean, if you surround yourself with foolishness, it's easy to get dragged down in foolishness. Surround yourself with wise people, I mean, they'll be the ones pulling you up. So, it's just good, man. Just pick and choose who you're around. And it's hard sometimes, like, having to, like, cut off people and all that, but I can promise you, again, from personal experience, it's so much better for the soul at the end of the day to lose certain relationships that are not good. Because, I mean, again, when you're in the middle of certain circumstances and relationships and all that with certain people, you don't realize it at the time, but I mean, you're just slipping further and further, distancing yourself from God until you're already snared in the enemy's grasp. But thankfully, we have a gracious God who will always take us back in open arms. And yeah, not deserving of it by any means, but very grateful. 14, verse 12. There's a way that seems right to a person, but in the end is the way to death. So, yeah, like, again, going back to that, like, it's so easy as people to get hard-headed in our own ways and just keep going. Like, there's a way that seems right to a person, but in the end it leads to death. Like, you could use, for example, I mean, it's like you're in the rat race so much, you're just like, oh, I gotta keep making money, gotta keep going, gotta keep working, and you end up working so much you lose everything else around you, like relationships, friends, family. And then at the end, you end up losing yourself, and it's just the way to death. But you're like, it seemed like the right thing to do to provide for my family. But at the end of the day, you weren't actually providing for your family. You being without them doesn't help. I've had people that I know suffer from that, but thankfully there's been grace, and they're no longer in those type of situations. 14, verse 30, a tranquil heart is life to the body, but jealousy is rottenness to the bones. It's so easy to be jealous of so many different people. I mean, for an example here, it's like on this YouTube platform, like I got 700 odd subs. I get like barely any views on the vids, but that's okay. I'm not really in it for the views. I think it'd be a cool career. Like truly, I would love to do this more than anything. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm gonna go wherever the Lord has me. So it's easy to get jealous of people who are like, they post one thing and then all of a sudden it goes up and goes viral when, you've been posting for a while or something like that. I mean, I struggle with jealousy in so many different aspects. That's just an example. But a tranquil heart is the life to the body. It's important just to just be there in the moment and just be at peace and contentment. Chapter 15, verse 1. A gentle answer turns away anger, but a harsh word stirs up wrath. I mean, so many times, like, people get into arguments, and the best way is just a gentle answer. Like, if someone approaches you with heat, just take the calm demeanor about it. Do what Jesus would do. Like, when people come up, like, accusing a woman of adultery, and then Jesus, like, and they were telling him, like, we should kill her, it's the law of Moses. What does he do in, like, the midst of all of, like, their anger, wrath, and them trying to stir him up in a trap? He legit, like, kneels down and just starts writing in the sand. Like, that is just de-escalation. It's a gentle response. But a harsh word stirs up anger. I mean, imagine if someone comes up to you angry and then you respond with more harsh words. Like, progress is gonna be gained by nothing there. So, better a little with fear of the Lord than great treasure with turmoil. So many people choose this world and their treasure instead of fearing the Lord. You got like a bunch of people in politics, Hollywood, and they pursue their treasure. But oftentimes their lives are like turmoil, like they get home and they feel empty and they don't know why. But I mean, Solomon says right here, it's better to have little and to fear God, have that relationship with God. It fills you up so much more. Like, from a personal experience, there is a hole that everybody has that only God can fill. Like, everybody tries to fill it with the world first, and that never works out. But I can promise you, God does. 3 is commit your activities to the Lord, and your plans will be established. If you commit your life to the Lord, your plans are gonna change for the Lord, and therefore your plans will be established. It's not like, again, like, hey, I'm not gonna cuss. Am I gonna be a millionaire now? Like, it's not like that, but it's just important to reminder, just surrender all to God. Then your plans will be established. Your plans will change to those of the Lord, and the Lord will honor that. I love this verse too, verse 17 of chapter 17. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a difficult time. Friends, they come and go, but man, like, a brother sticks around, even in the lows, when no one else is around in your life. Like, when no one else cares, a brother sticks up for you. Those moments are so powerful. 2, a fool does not delight in understanding, but only wants to show off his opinions. That hits real hard when we live in a culture like we do today, where everybody has an opinion and they want to share it, and they like it says, a fool does not delight in understanding, you know? Like, the fools want to share their opinion, but they don't want to hear what you got to say in response, even if you have truth to say to them, you know? A fool just wants to be loud and be heard. 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are protected. I mean, personally, I've had very dark moments where the enemy is clearly around me, and sometimes just the only way to get out of it is just to call on that name, Jesus. Like, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run to it and are protected. The enemy can't do anything. It has to flee. When you call upon the name of Jesus, where there is light, there is no darkness. There can be none. And when you call on that light, darkness has to flee. 22. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. You know, me personally, I've been single all my life, but I mean, hold on to that verse, because like, a wife is a good thing. It doesn't have to be everything. Like, I mean, that's not the end goal of life, is to get married. Like, singleness is a gift in and of itself. You know, single isn't JV, marriage isn't varsity. I've heard a preacher say before, but I mean, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. Chapter 19, verse 3. A person's own foolishness leads him astray, yet his heart rages against the Lord. This right here is really powerful. It's just saying, like, people lead themselves astray. Like, people go out, do evil, and yet their heart rages against the Lord. Like, so many times people are like, why does God allow evil? Like, as if he causes it. Like, that's the devil's best thing that he's good at, I would say, in today's society, is giving God the credit for his actions. Like, everyone's so quick to be like, God, why? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And nobody wants to talk about the enemy. Like, look, God created the possibility for evil. Like, he didn't create us to be evil. Like, I mean, that's a whole nother, like, sermon right there in and of itself, but I mean, if anyone wants to talk about any of these things, I mean, I'll leave the Discord server in the bio of this video, and yeah, we can have some discussions. 20, verse 22, don't say I will avenge this evil, wait on the Lord, he will rescue you. It's just important right there. You know, don't take matters in your own hands. It's just only gonna make things worse when you repay evil with evil. Just wait on the Lord. I mean, he's so much better. Would you rather handle things yourself or let God handle it for you? So yeah, that's just a few of the quick, like, little 2-line verses I came across in Proverbs, chapters 10 through 22. Those are all the ones that kind of, like, stuck with me the most. And again, like I said, if anyone ever wants to further discuss, I have the Discord link in the bio of this, so I'd be more than happy to. And I just pray for just blessing and encouragement over anyone who may possibly stumble across this video. So yeah, thank you for sticking with me this whole time, and bye.